beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
This is On the Block with Strick and Nate. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
And Hokie Homer turned Husker, Nathan Brennan.
Everyone knows that I'm the smartest person here.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
A very happy Friday to all of you. It is almost game day in Lincoln. And we are live from Barry's at 9th and Q. Honestly, not really any better place to be right now. We're on the rooftop. It's a beautiful day outside. Got a nice breeze keeping us cool. The sun is out. Very few clouds. The temperature is perfect. It's a great time to be a Husker fan. And we want to hear from you. 402-464-5685. That's the Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline. As always, you can chime in. You can also head to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter for the Starter Heyman live video stream. Check out what's going on here at Barry's. See where Strick is at as he continues his sabbatical. But we do have an Eric Strickland sighting, as we always like to see. Nick also joining Barry's. We got a packed show for you. We're going to talk some Big Ten football. We're going to talk Nebraska football. We're also going to be talking about some Tua Tagovailoa. Interesting game last night. He goes down after possibly already having a concussion. I know Jake Sorensen probably still upset about that one. So lots to be talked about for this show. Again, 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline. We want to hear from you as always. And we'll bring him in, the Husker Hall of Famer. Strick, it's good to see you, my friend. We've missed you.
Yeah, man. You guys are still doing it big, though, down there in Barry, so it's all good. Nick is taking care of things, handling my sidekick action with the brew. I know you're down there taking a couple to the face, so it's all good.
You already know, Strick. I haven't gotten any shots or beers yet, but I'm telling you right now, as beautiful as it is outside, that's probably on the horizon.
I was going to say, when's commercial break?
Yeah, when's commercial break? That's what we're going to be getting busy, as you would say, Strick. Again, 402-464-5685. Go ahead and let us know your thoughts, because we're going to get into some Nebraska's talk. Strick, we haven't really gotten your thoughts too much throughout the week, so I definitely want to get to that. And the first thing I want to ask, it looks like it's going to be nice weather tomorrow for Nebraska, Indiana. Nebraska still sitting around that 6.5 point favorite mark. A little bit interesting. I don't really know what I expected going in, but it certainly wasn't that. I just kind of want to get your initial thoughts here, Strick. Are you buying that Nebraska enters this game as a near touchdown favorite?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't at this point. I think at this point, I really feel that Nebraska has to show me something. They have to show me more than what has actually been transpiring over the last 3 weeks. I know we're going to get into some of the keys of the game and some of the successes and some of the players. I know we're going to talk about that, but I'm definitely not buying that. If I'm Nebraska at this point, I'm looking for them to put me as an underdog, so I can have some type of fodder, right? Because that would be a tremendous thing. I mean, let's be real about it. Indiana's coming in here with a 1-0 record in conference. Obviously, they're not in the West right now. So even if this game was a debacle, as crazy as that sounds, they're still okay. That's what's crazy about it, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's what I mean. That would it blows my freaking mind that even if they happen to just drop the ball, roll over and die, lay down and lay an egg, or do a Willy Wonka's challenge for basically the candy and everybody becomes an Oompa Loompa, I don't care what it is, it still means that they've got a shot in the Big Ten West. They still got a few weeks to get things changed around. But listen, I need to see something. Right now, I'm at the point where I don't want to hear no coach speak. I don't want to hear no player speak. I want to see action. like I'm in a movie and I'm the director. Action. That's what I'm
Well, I think what's most fascinating about what you just said, Strick, because I'm going to give you the counterpoint to that. If this is a complete debacle on the other end, if Indiana gets blown out by Nebraska, I mean, we saw it last year. You can talk about homecoming all you want. You can talk about the environment. You can talk about a night game, the light show. I don't care what you have to say. Nebraska last year against Northwestern wins 56-7. Do I predict that that happens this year? No, obviously not. But I'm talking about a big win for Nebraska. A touchdown, 2 touchdowns, covering the spread, for crying out loud. That's momentum. Like, you talk about how if Nebraska loses this game, there's still a shot. I'm going to talk about the other end of that, because if you have a situation where Nebraska wins, and God forbid Nebraska wins big, that's all you need, because then you're sitting 1-1 in the conference. Then you have a stretch of games against Rutgers, Purdue, Illinois, the bottom part of the Big Ten, however you want to classify the bottom of the Big Ten right now, because say what you will, Purdue still comes in at 2-2, Rutgers still comes in at 3-1, Illinois, I believe, is 3-1 as well. So all records better than you, but you still got a chance. Not only do you have a chance, like, I'm not going to say you're in the driver's seat, because at the end of the day, Minnesota is going to be tough to catch. I would be shocked, honestly. They avoid kind of the big three, as I would say, in the Big Ten, so they might go run the table and win out in the Big Ten. Outside of Minnesota, you're in the driver's seat. You're 1-1 in the Big Ten. The schedule plays in your favor. So I think, going off of what you're saying, Strick, there's an opportunity here to really set a tone for the rest of the Big Ten schedule.
Yes, you actually control your own destiny. It's all in your hands right now. If you want to even set the tone, change the narrative, and have people to even have an inkling of excitement, this is a 4-game stretch that I hate to say must wins. I hate to say have to win. These are games that right now I say you have to win. I hate to say it, but I think you have to. If you don't go 3-4 in this stretch, it is a travesty, because that means that something, there's a lot of oil leaking. That means you have transmission problems. That means your engine light is on. And that means you need to go to the repair shop and put that thing on one of the, and get some mechanics under there to get some work done, because you've got major problems. This is not one that you can just take in and let them change the oil filter. No, you need a complete overhaul on what's going on right there at the program at that point, because there's nothing else to say about it.
And not only that, too, is like, I think what's so interesting is we talk about the rest of these games and what could happen, what will happen. But Indiana is probably the easiest game you're going to have left. And that's so crazy to say, because they're sitting at 3-1. They've won the games that they're supposed to win. Nebraska, on the very opposite side, hasn't really won a single game that they're supposed to win. So for what it's worth, I think Indiana's probably the game you have to get, that must-win game like you're talking about. Also, shout out to Gus. It's Kool-Aid Friday, so I'm going to flip that score. He says that Nebraska wins 42-27. Love the optimism, Gus. It's Kool-Aid Friday. All right, Strick, we're going to break this down a little bit. Let's talk about it. Strick's keys to success. I know we've talked about it early in the season. The keys to success probably hasn't changed too much over the last few weeks, but we've seen some things. Some things have changed. Mickey Joseph now taking over. Bill Bush as well on the defensive side of the ball. Keys to success. What do you got?
So I have 3 keys to success for this, and this is what I need to see. Here's the problem that's been going on right now. Everything is open like 7-Eleven. They must stop the run game. Yeah. Northwestern 214.
I like that.
North Dakota 175. Georgia Southern 233. Oklahoma 312. Listen, you had a bye week, as I stated, to put your car in the mechanic's chair, and this is a fixed week, because right now you've given up 934 yards in 4 games to 3 bad teams and a possible if you're playing spades.
You're right.
Right? 3 bad teams that all lost after beating Nebraska.
Right.
So then Oklahoma, on the other hand, beats the brakes off of you in home, 312 yards. And then Adrian Martinez, your former quarterback, goes in there and gives them the blues.
Looks like the Heisman candidate. Yeah.
What's going on? That's what you have to look for. You must stop the run game. Next thing, You must get pressure on the quarterback. 4 sacks total all year in 4 games. They can't sack groceries right now if they were a store clerk. That is unacceptable business in my purview.
I agree.
By all means, they must right now show up and leave because when you think about it, they've got to show up in this department because right now, a lot of those other teams that they played that they didn't do nothing against, they left the quarterback buck naked, and he was getting sacked all over the place. All them other teams, Oklahoma's line stinks. North Dakota's is Northwestern's is marginal because they had some of their guys back, but Georgia Southern, let's be real about it, right? You must get pressure on it. You must get pressure on the quarterback, period. At this point, O'Shawn Mathis, we'll talk about him. I'm going to talk about him when we get to players. Okay. Energy. They must play with reckless abandon, but with control in every way. This game must be them flying all over the field. There can't be lackluster, lack of effort, none of that. We need energy. I don't care if they drink Red Bull, Bang, or any of the other energy drinks. We need
a pre-workout. Yeah. Take some pre-workout.
That's what
we need something like that. I'm going to head to the text line here again, 402-464-5685. You guys want to chime in on this conversation. Texter says, Strick, the engine is blown. It is up on blocks, and there's a pack of raccoons living in the back seat. This thing is done and over. I've got a counter argument to that. I love it. First of all, Strick, your references today have been on point. I'm feeling the references. But my counter argument to that is that, yes, it looks terrible. It looks disastrous for Nebraska. We're all on the same page there. Something needs to change, whether it's the head coach, whether it's the defensive coordinator, whether it's the players on the field. I don't care who's to blame. Something needs to change. But on top of that, and this is the counter argument to the texter, you might be 1-3, but in the Big Ten, you are 0-1. And that is just facts. You can interpret that however you possibly want to. But the fact of the matter is, in the Big Ten, where it counts, where it matters, you are with a win against Indiana, you are 1-1, and you are in the middle of the pack, and you are in the race. You're in the conversation. That's it. That is the facts, and that is the situation that we're dealt. Am I saying Nebraska's going to go out there and beat Indiana? No. Do I want to see that happen? And if I was a betting man, would I put money on Nebraska? No. I have no idea what's going to happen. The crazy part is none of us do because, one, this is going to be your first game under a new defensive coordinator, and the defense has been getting gashed all season. That's going to look different. 2, you have different players stepping up. The depth chart looks a little bit different. Mickey said he's going to mix some things up. Obviously, he has. And then 3, you're coming off a bye week. These players got to go home. They got to rest their bodies. They got to work on some new things in practice. It's going to look different. Will it look better? I don't know. But the counter argument to what that texter's saying, it's not over. It's not done. Like, Nebraska, for what it's worth, still has a chance when it comes to the Big Ten.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't say it any better than what you said it. I mean, you really broke down what I basically said in my mind-blowing moment. That is it right there in a nutshell. They still are in
which is crazy.
I mean, most teams, if they were in this situation right now, they would be pulling out hair that they don't have like me. and they would be just befuddled, bamboozled, and run amok in their minds about how this season has turned out. Yes, it's bad. It looks bad, but they still don't. I mean, I would be selling that you're still in the freaking mix, and you've just got to make changes and adjustments. It just can't be an oil change, though. It's got to be an overhaul in some form or fashion, whether it's defense. They just haven't put together a full game, a complete game in any way.
That's the thing, too. Seeing a complete game would just really change the outlook of the season, too. Like, let's just see, like, a little bit of something from everybody, a little bit of something from every position group. Strick, before we go to break, also, I want to go over your keys to success again. Stop the run, get pressure on the quarterback, show some energy. Love it. Those are going to be my 3 keys to success as well. Players to watch in this one for Nebraska. Who do you want to see to really step up and have a breakout game?
Well, I'll go with Indiana first. The 2 guys to really pay attention to is going to be Cam Camper and Sean Shivers. those two, if you're watching them, I mean, Sean Shivers right now, 69 carries for 320 yards, 3 TDs. He's the guy that's basically going to run the ship for Indiana. He's going to make way for Bazelak to have play action opportunities. He struggled right now, 7 TDs, 4 interceptions, struggled right now, but Cam Camper has been playing very well with 33 receptions, 418 yards, not many TDs, but he's getting the job done. Those are the ones that I would worry about if I am, the defensive coordinator and the team to keep my eyes out for. Now on the offensive end, one of the things I'm looking for, I need an Anthony Grant get busy night, because right now at this point, is he going to become the bell cow and carry the load, or who's going to step up behind him? Is it going to be Gabe Ervin?
Right.
We don't know, because AJ Allen, we do know, is out. I want to know who's going to step up behind him. Who's going to be that next guy to give him the break he needs so that he can have complete success, hopefully in the run game. But the next one is going to be O'Shawn Mathis. I need an O'Shawn sighting. I can't continue to allow the mediocrity of what we were hoping and expecting out of O'Shawn coming out of TCU and the success that he had there. I just can't accept that right now at this point. We know that the offensive linemen probably maybe have better fleet of foot or stronger good hand. I don't know what it is, but at this particular point, I don't give a dang, because he's played against 4. He should have ran up the whole clock on them with sacks. And at this point, with how bad some of those linemen is he faced. So I need an O'Shawn Mathis sighting. Those are the two guys that I'm really keeping my eyes for, plus the whole running back league.
Definitely going to be interesting to see. We're going to head to break. We're going to take a quick break before we get to Strick's Picks. College football week 5 underway. We're not going to throw Nebraska in there, but we're definitely going to go through the rest of the landscape of college football. We're live from Barry's 9th and Q. Come hang out with us. Beautiful afternoon. I cannot say it enough. Sunny skies, a little bit of a breeze. It feels awesome up here. This is the place to be for homecoming weekend. We're giving away 3 pairs of Husker tickets. We're giving away a signed, you heard that correctly, a signed Mike Rozier jersey. Again, you got to be here to win. You got to be here before 6 p.m. Put your name in the raffle. Come get a jersey. Come get some drinks. We are having a great time at Barry's. We're going to head to break. We'll be right back on the block.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
You're getting lots of steps in this fall between going to football and volleyball games. Are your shoes getting worn out? For the rest of September, when you stop by Brown Shoe Fit, you can take an additional 20% off the men's clearance rack sale price. The clearance rack has your favorite brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, and more. Hurry in for the best selection in your size. The sale ends September 30th, so hurry in now for 20% off all shoes on the men's clearance rack at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years and can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our communities safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer two of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of Oktoberfest beers, and you can check out their Odell Brewing, Imperium Brewing, and Sam Adams selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit ASBMidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club, or space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning in to Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The drinks are flowing, the wind is blowing, and we are having a great time over here at Barry's 9th and Q. Come hang out with us. We'll be here until 6 o'clock tonight. This is the place to be for homecoming weekend. They got a special alumni, 10% all purchases day and night. Trust me, this is the place you want to be. Whenever I hear 10% off in today's economy, are you kidding me? Head on over to Barry's. You definitely want to come right now, too, because 3 pairs of Husker tickets for tomorrow's game against Indiana. We're giving those away. And we also got a signed Mike Rozier jersey. That is correct, signed. All you got to do, come over, put your name in the bin, give yourself a chance to win a signed Mike Rozier jersey. Montez Beats, me and Nick were talking about earlier. Montez Beats, 10 p.m. tonight, all the way until close at 2. Barry's is the place to be. Go ahead and come now. Get your drinks, get your food, all that good stuff. The weather is immaculate, as I might say, Strick. Immaculate. How you doing over there? Where are you at right now? Are you in Dallas? Did you make it over?
See, that's the thing. See, Nate Dogg, you are my partner. You don't listen to Stinky very well. I tell you, we've got to have a segment sometime. We got to have a segment like we talked about one of those shows. Where's Carmen Sandiego, right? Where's Stricky Nebraska-Ego or something? I don't know what we're going to call it. Where's Stricky? We got to figure out where's Stricky. I'm in H-Town right now. I'm in Houston, Texas.
That's right. I knew it was in Texas. I just couldn't remember if it was Dallas or Houston.
Not yet.
So.
Not yet. I got to go back to Dallas.
You,
exactly. He don't listen to Stricky. That's why he don't listen to me in his picks. That's why he don't listen to me in these picks either, because he knows Stricky's going to win all the money, but he's like, I got to go my own way. That's
whoa. No, Strick, for what it's worth, every single time we have put $1 on this parlay.
Put money on it.
I've been right there with you. Well, interestingly enough, you went 5-5 in week 1, so it would have been an even split if you took Strick's picks. Last week, I got some bad news, Strick. 5-5 again. This is the thing. Pick one way or the other. Either we win some or we lose some. I'm a firm believer in that. So we're going to get it done. Rico, unfortunately, can't play the music because you're on the stream. It messes up with the computer and all that. So no music this week. We'll have it next week. Don't worry. But we're going to go over Strick's picks for college football week 5. And we're going to start with the only game tonight I have here on the list, Strick. Washington, despite being on the road, 15th team ranked in the country, they're traveling to UCLA. Now, interestingly enough, both these teams undefeated. Washington comes in as a 2.5-point favorite. Strick, get it going. What do you got?
So here's the deal. As of right now, I'm 5-5. This week, I'm 5-5. Yeah. 10-10 overall. So in the words of the WWE and all those things that you have in wrestling, they have a thing called tag. When you're having those type of fights, right? When you're going for the championship. I'm going to have a tag moment. I'm also going to do a little something where I need a lifeline. You've heard of that show where to be a millionaire or something like that. I need a lifeline. My lifeline today is Nick Sainer. So I'm like, listen, I couldn't pick it last week. It was so crazy. I mean, games that you thought were going to be, easy pick'ems, they only win by 3 or they barely won. They got, the brakes beat off of them. So listen, Nate, tag, help me out.
Well, for this one, I think you have to look at Washington. Michael Penix Jr. In early, I wouldn't say favorite to win the Heisman, but the odds are interestingly enough giving him in the top 10
They're
right
tough.
now. If you're Michael Penix Jr., but
tough.
Washington is on the road, so
Timeout.
I don't know.
Timeout. Tag. Okay, hold on. On the road at UCLA, though, Nate.
UCLA's undefeated.
UCLA plays at the
undefeated.
Rose Bowl.
UCLA's undefeated.
Have you seen how many fans go
It's
to
a
UCLA
night game.
games?
It's a Friday night game. It might be a
You
little
cannot
bit
say that.
interesting. I don't know. I there's something to be said for being on the road. Friday night game.
I will be
undefeated team.
shocked if Washington doesn't win this by double digits.
Ooh. Strick, what say you? Are you taking it? Are you taking the lifeline?
Nick Sainer, we're going with Nick Sainer.
All right, we'll take the lifeline. We'll take Washington 2.5 favorites over UCLA. That game kicks off tonight.
We're going against the spread, right?
Yes, we're going against the spread.
I wanna
The
make sure-
spread.
make
So
sure it's the
no,
right
it's not
thing.
either or. We're going against the spread. We're making this a true
Had to make sure.
parlay. Strick, our second game will be in the Big Ten. This one is very interesting because Michigan, in a bit of an awkward line, 10.5-point favorites. They are on the road against Iowa. I don't know what the over-under is, but I'd take the under. But, Strick, that's not how this game is played. You got to take one or the other.
Yeah.
Michigan, 10.5-point favorites on the road. What say you?
So I would go under 2 because I just love the defense. And I think there's nothing about Michigan that scares me if they flood and just take care of the run for them, right? There's nothing that scares me from Michigan. I'm actually going to take Iowa by the spread.
Ooh.
Nick,
What's
I want
up?
to hear Nick's thoughts.
I do not like that pick. I think Kinnick is a tougher place to play than the Rose Bowl. I'll give you that. And I wouldn't be surprised that at halftime, this is a very close game. I wouldn't be surprised even if Iowa's up by a 3 at halftime, right? Because we know Iowa's not getting in the end zone. So if they're up by 3 after a field goal, I wouldn't be surprised.
They haven't scored in double digits.
Yeah, however, man, here's the thing. Michigan, I just think Blake Corum is one of the more underrated guys in the country at running back. They have Ronnie Bell at wide receiver. And here's the thing. They did that awkward little 2 quarterback system with McNamara and J.J. McCarthy. Now they're starting to have J.J. McCarthy settle in as the starting quarterback, and I think that Michigan's not going to have a problem against Iowa.
Strict, for what it's worth, I am rolling with you. I've got Iowa. 10.5 is too many points.
If you're a betting man, or woman, I mean, change the line to 9.5 and get it at minus.
Yeah, the 10.5 is just a little.
10.5 is awkward.
It's awkward.
That's awkward.
That's the only reason for me. That's the only reason. I don't
I could see them win by 10, but I mean that doesn't cover, I suppose.
Yeah,
but I'm still taking Michigan to cover.
All right, Strick. We'll head over to the SEC. This one's an interesting one too because two teams that are ranked. Kentucky, they're going to travel to Mississippi to take on Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin earlier this week talking about kind of the lack of energy from the fan base, said it felt almost like a high school stadium, so I don't really know how much of a home field advantage this is going to play for Ole Miss. But despite saying all of that, they come in as 6.5-point favorites at home.
Nick.
Tag! Well, here's the thing. So here's the thing. Ole Miss, you got to worry about. I mean, Jackson Dart has had a pretty decent year so far. I don't know how serious. Like Kentucky's the 7th best team in the country according to the AP poll, right? And Will Levis is a guy that is just sneakily
That's the part.
One of the better quarterbacks. Like you don't hear about Will Levis, right?
I like
now
it.
Like let's be real. Now that Wan'Dale Robinson is not leading the SEC in wide receiving yards, then you don't hear about Will Levis a whole lot, right? So, but somehow, some way, Kentucky is 4-0, and if it was Matt Corral and Ole Miss, if it was the Ole Miss team of last year, I would say they win by a touchdown. I'm going to take the Kentucky plus 6.5 on the road.
Strict.
I'm rolling with Nick.
DP doesn't like that.
Ooh. All right, we're going to stick with Strict and Nick. Kentucky plus 6.5. All right, Strict, this one I'm very curious.
There's no question. There's no question. You don't even need that.
We got burned last week. We got burned. Oklahoma, TCU. Oklahoma 6-point favorites on the road.
I'm not rolling. Minnesota PJ Fleck runs it down their throat. Over with. I don't even need Nick on this one. Over.
That's fine. Well, no, what are you taking for Oklahoma, TCU?
Oh, we skipped it. Oh, shoot. Who? So here's my thought about that. Do they bounce back?
Right.
I think they do.
I agree.
I think they got surprised. I think they bounced back. I think 6 is a good number. I definitely think they win by 6 against TCU. Nick,
yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that's interesting.
I like Oklahoma a lot.
Yeah, that one surprises me. I don't. I thought it was going to be a little bit more. Oklahoma looked terrible last weekend. Yeah, we got burned on that one. I know. We need a better lock of the weekend because our lock of the weekend was not a lock of the weekend. Because
Adrian Martinez could have called us and he didn't even have to say nothing. It was the lock pick of the week. Adrian Martinez could have called us at the station and just didn't say nothing, just streamed in and just looked at us. And we just, sorry, sir.
All right. Well, for what it's worth, too, you said this next one, Purdue, Minnesota 12-point favorites. Minnesota.
That might be my pick right there. That might be my pick.
That's your lock of the weekend?
That's my lock of the
weekend right there. I would have to agree with you, too. I think Minnesota, especially at home, they're going to be a tough team to beat. This one a little bit interesting. I thought it'd be probably a closer line just because of the fact that Arkansas is at home. Arkansas will host Alabama. Alabama, despite being on the road, they come in as 17-point favorites. We saw what happened when they traveled to Texas. Close game, close matchup. I think I might see
Jefferson's nice, too.
Yeah, what do you think, Rick? What do you think?
You know, on this one, tag Nick.
Okay, so here's my thoughts, just laying it out. Alabama showed that they're susceptible to road environments when they went on the road to Texas, right? However, Will Anderson did say this week that he can't believe that other players have the audacity to step on the field and play against him. I like KJ Jefferson a lot.
I know you.
I like a lot. I like KJ Jefferson a lot. However, I think Alabama gets it done. I think I'm going to take Alabama on the road. After I thought Arkansas would maybe beat Texas A&M last week, and then when they didn't,
they kept it close.
But I'm not as high on Texas A&M as a lot of people are. And so I'm going to say Alabama gets it done on the road.
You think Alabama covers 17?
I do.
You're rolling with Tide.
I'm rolling Tide.
Ooh, I don't know. I just think that's a lot of points. We'll see how Alabama looks too, because again, against Texas, it came down to the wire. They had to get a last-second field goal.
But that's so early. That's early in the season. You kind of get to test your waters, get your feet wet. So I can understand that. You're looking at Quinn Ewers. You really don't got no. You really don't have no evidence, no film work on him. He comes out and plays well.
I was going to say, I mean, look at Arkansas, and where is there Bijan Robinson or Xavier Worthy? Quarterback is stride for stride with Quinn Ewers and KJ Jefferson. I would actually give the leg up to KJ Jefferson in that situation, just due to experience. But
17 is just a lot.
17 is a lot on the road, but hey, it's Alabama. I think Alabama is one of those teams, Nate, as you guys know, that's like they could be up by 14 at the end of the first half, and then just slowly but surely getting up by 28, then it's 32, 35, and you're like, all right, well, crap.
It's weird. I don't know what it is. All right, Strick, we're going to go back into the Big Ten.
It's a complete football team.
This one is probably the most bizarre line of the
scary.
weekend. I don't know if this is going to be a lot for anybody. Ohio State at home, despite Rutgers being 3-1, 39.5-point favorites. I did not misspeak. It is 39.5-point favorite for Ohio State at home against Rutgers. That's a lot of points. Strick, what do you think?
Listen, Rutgers is not as bad as what people think they are. I understand going into the shoe and that environment, what that feels like and what that looks like. I get it. But at the end of the day, I don't think Rutgers is that bad. I think they're going to have a plan for them. I'm not totally sold. There were some injury reports on Smith and Jigba and some of their wide receiver core last week. I don't know how that's panning out, what that's going to look like. I'm a little leery on that one. I'm rolling Rutgers by the spread.
Yeah, I'm going to have to that one, Strick. Yeah.
My super lock was Ohio State.
That's
today.
Too many points.
Well, then keep moving. We don't even have to say nothing. We don't want to hear nothing from that guy.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. When Jackson Smith and Jigba's missed games, and who stepped up? Somebody by the name of Marvin Harrison Jr.
Too many points,
and
don't let him fool you.
I'm telling you right now, Ohio State, statistically speaking, right now in college football is the best offense in the country.
That's almost 6. That's almost 6 touchdowns.
Well, they beat Wisconsin 52-21.
Yeah,
Wisconsin's
I still think
really
bad.
Yeah,
Wisconsin's great.
Wisconsin has a defense coordinator.
I don't want to hear it. Move on.
That's too many points. All right, Strick, we're going to go over.
I can't wait for Saturday's game at 2:30 on Fox.
We're going to go over to the Big 12, Strick. I think this one has playoff implications, and I hate saying it already in Week 5, but if the committee's shown us anything, if you're going to make the playoff in the Big 12, you got to go undefeated. Oklahoma State is that undefeated team. Baylor, they're the favorites, though, at home, despite having one loss, 2.5-point favorites. Strick, what do you think about this one?
Listen, I'm not, I know we got time, so I'm not going to be pretty, deep on this one. I'm going to random fan. I'm going Baylor. 2-5.
All right, Baylor at home. It'll be interesting, too, because like I said, I think that one's going to decide if Oklahoma State can make the playoff or not. All right, back into the Big Ten. Northwestern will take on Penn State. Penn State, 25.5-point favorites at home. Pretty big line, but Northwestern is now 1-3 with their only win against Nebraska. Strick?
Here's the thing. The problem I have with Penn State, I think Penn State plays down to their competition.
Yeah,
I don't think they go to to go down somebody's throat with the ball. You understand what I'm saying? The ball. Yeah, I don't think they go down people's throat with the ball. So here's the thing. I'm actually going to go Northwestern on this one. 25.5.
Ooh, Nick,
I'm going Northwestern.
I like that too. Is it in Happy Valley?
At Penn State. Yeah. At Penn State, but I think they play down to their competition. I really do.
They do.
Yeah, I think they do as well. I'm still not bought on Sean Clifford, so give me Northwestern. Right. Ryan Helinski throws at the 4th most in all of college football per game. So maybe they get lucky slinging it around.
He also looked like a Heisman candidate against Nebraska. All right, last one I've got for you, Strict College Game Day, game of the week. More playoff implications. I'm going to call it again. This game is the one to watch. If you want to make the playoff, this is a must win. I know it's Week 5. Clemson comes in 5th-ranked team in the country. If NC State somehow pulls off the upset, they become a part of that conversation. It's at Clemson. They're 6.5-point favorites. What say you?
This don't happen to happen. This doesn't have to happen real quick, but it's going to happen quick. Tag!
Clemson.
Strick?
I've always been higher on DJ Uiagalelei.
Ooh, no, I don't know about all that. That's where me and Nick differ. Nick, you my partner, but on the tag, but I differ on that.
So are you
I'm not
picking
sold
NC
on
State,
it.
Strick?
Negative. I'm rolling with you.
Ooh,
Okay.
I think that's a good one, Strick. I think that's probably the one. If I had to pick one of these on the list, I am not touching Devin Leary of NC State. Watch out, sleeper Heisman candidate. If he puts up big numbers this week,
So was Tyler
telling
Van
you,
Dyke.
I'm telling no. Devin Leary actually looks good though. He already has 9
that's true.
touchdowns on the
That's true.
season. You watch him throw up 5 against Clemson, he becomes a part of that
That's
conversation.
what
All
I'm
right,
not
you're
touching
about
with
to-
them points.
I'm not touching that one. All right, we're about to head to break, but Strick, before we go, lock of the weekend. Let's hear it.
Lock of the weekend for me is Minnesota Purdue. Lock it in.
Lock it in, Minnesota. I think that's a good pick too.
Just for fun, I don't know if you saw this line, guys. Number 22 Wake Forest goes on the road at number 23 Florida State.
It's a good matchup.
Florida State 6.5-point favorites. I'm not touching that game.
I'm not touching that.
I'm
parts of
away
that.
from
Nope.
it. Are you?
Walk away from me on that one.
Are you riding with Sam Hartman?
Nah,
I'm not riding with none of them. I'm scared of that one.
Like think about how Wake Forest lost to Clemson last
And that's
weekend.
the thing too, is that's going to mess with your mind.
Exactly.
But I also don't want to touch that because I'm not using the F word, Strick. I'm not using fraudulent, but you better watch out. Florida State, they're flirting.
Interesting.
A little Deion Sanders.
I was gonna say that Florida State is
I know.
interesting because they have the whole Mike Norvell situation right now, where they were ready to fire him after he lost the number 1 overall recruit Travis Hunter to Jackson State and Deion Sanders. But then they're like, once he loses next year, once they lose next year, Mike Norvell is going to be fired. But here they are, 4-0.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to use the F word yet because they are 4-0, but fraudulent, we're reaching that territory. Watch out for Florida State, Wake Forest. I think that's got a lot of implications as well. We're live from Barry's 9th and Q. Come hang out with us. We'll be here until 6 o'clock. Jay Foreman, DP, Strick, Jake, Nick. We got the whole crew here. We're going to be here until 6 o'clock. Come on by. 3 pairs of Husker tickets. Sign Mike Rozier jersey. Promise you won't want to miss out on it. Again, we'll be here until 6 o'clock. We'll see you on the other side. You listen on the block. 93.7 The Ticket.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club or space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and Brent Excavate.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning in to Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Time to replace your heating and air? Get utility rebates and big discounts from Bryant. Call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $22.58 per hour. And other select jobs is starting at $24.28 per hour, with wages growing up to $30.30 per hour. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Your high school football coverage rolls on right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me this Friday at 8 p.m. for a deep city rivalry between Lincoln Southeast and Lincoln Southwest. The Knights come in winners of 3 in a row and fresh off a big 56-35 win last Friday, while the Silverhawks continue their run towards the playoffs after dominating Omaha Bryan last week 56-0 and boasting a 4-1 record in 2022. Kickoff is scheduled for 8 p.m. and you can listen to all the action right here on your home for high school football, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Warm and breezy for your Friday with an afternoon high right about 80. South-southeast winds gusting over 20 and a few passing clouds here and there. A low tonight down to around 55. We'll start off the weekend with a high of around 83 and those south-southeast winds again gusting over 20. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are live from Barry's 9th and Q. Come hang out with us all afternoon long. We'll be here until 6 o'clock. I have to tell you, the weather, absolutely beautiful. A little bit of a breeze, sunny skies. I sound like a meteorologist right now. Sunny skies, a little bit of a breeze. It is a great day to be outside. It's a great day to grab some drinks, grab some food, all that good stuff as we get our tailgate rolling just a little bit early for this weekend, Nebraska versus Indiana. Make sure you want to stop by to come to the rooftop because we're giving away 3 pairs of Husker tickets for tomorrow's game against Indiana. A signed Mike Rozier jersey. All you got to do is come drop your name in the bin before 6 o'clock. Then you can win. If you're not present while we're here, while we draw the winner, you can pick up the tickets tomorrow at our tailgate, at our pregame, at Tipsy Tina's, giving you guys plenty of opportunities to get some great food, great drinks, great atmosphere, and we are getting ready for game day. Also, go ahead and call us now, 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline. The third caller will get $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings, courtesy of the Husker Hall of Famer, Eric Strickland. We're doing remote today, so a little bit more difficult to actually play the game. But you play to win the game, and you play to win the chicken. Again, 402-464-5685. Call right now. The third caller will be getting $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Strick, I got to ask you, I know you were watching a little Thursday night football last night. I want to know your perspective as the athlete, as you watch what happened unfold with Tua Tagovailoa. Do you feel like he should have been put in the game? I know he had some questionable concussion protocol, however you want to decipher that, on Sunday. He goes in the game on Thursday, goes out again. From the athlete's perspective, from someone that's played at the professional level, do you think he should have been out there on the field?
I don't think so. I mean, I initially saw it, and being that I've not only been concussed, I also have seen it on multiple occasions now.
Right.
It was very evident by the way that he hit the back of his head when he landed on the turf and got up. Those are the hallmarks of a traditional concussion. The way that he stumbled, the way that he moved, the way that he tried to shake off the cobwebs. To go in, I found it very hard to believe that he was able to get through any type of protocols other than the basics. I think at that point you've got to err on the side of caution, because there are things where I think second concussion, people can actually die from that. I can't remember the name of it or the technological term of it, but when somebody's concussed, they can go into some form very similar to what he had, when he was on the turf in the last game. I just think in a short week, especially, not allowing him to get through some of that trauma that happened to his head. I think that even more you err on the side of caution. I understand from his standpoint, anybody that's playing for their next bag, anybody that's watching, yes, the player's going to want to get out there because he believes, and you're seeing the Cooper, the Cooper Rush situation down there at the Cowboys.
Right.
You're looking at that situation unfold. He's got the bag, Dak Prescott, and an injury is a next man up situation. And he's performing, and then all of a sudden the organization starts making ideas or potential decisions.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at a Zeke contract and they're looking at a Dak contract that can literally unload. Yes, they'll have to pay some of that because you have to pay some of the money for it, but because they're on your cap rate. But other than that, if you can unload that, get a guy like that, you put yourself in a tremendously better position to do some stuff. And now what's looking like a pretty tough NFC East.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Davis of Early Break said it best. He ended up tweeting this last night. There's no way Tua should have been playing tonight. Sometimes you have to protect athletes from themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what you were saying, Strick, is like, we know Tua's a gamer. I mean, for crying out loud, the guy's played in the national championship game. He's played through injury in the past with the Dolphins. The Dolphins start out 3-0 for crying out loud. He's a competitor. He's an athlete.
He was that fill-in guy too.
Yes,
he was the fill-in guy in this situation, so he understands all those things. Go ahead, Nate.
Yes. It's just one of those, like, you know what he's going to say. You know he wants to get on the field. You know that's going to be the situation, and you just have to help a guy out in that type of situation. And why it's so interesting is that I know a lot of people are coming at Mike McDaniel. I know a lot of people are coming at the doctors with the Dolphins, but ultimately my interpretation is that concussion protocol goes through the NFL. So the NFL administrators, doctors, whoever that may be that's there for that type of situation, they're the ones that decipher if he can go in and play and not. And it just goes to show you that at the end of the day, we got to be focused on the athletes, right? I mean, and this is just one of those situations that it's okay, you're going to be out a week, but we're worried about your long-term health at the end of the day because we know all the concussion situations. We know the CTE situations that happen in the NFL, and that's what the game is trying to stop. Like, we're trying to prevent those situations from happening. So more than anything, prayers up to Tua. I hope for a fast recovery. I hope this doesn't hinder his career, because you look at situations in the past. I mean, you look at the Rob Gronkowskis, the Andrew Lucks, the Christian McCaffreys. I guess he's not quite in that situation yet. The Luke Kuechly that was with the Panthers. You look at these guys that deal with injury history, and then you have these guys specifically that deal with head injuries. It reaches a point that it's not worth it. And you have a bright young star in Tua Tagovailoa, and it's just tough to watch. It's not a situation that any sports fan wants to see him out. But I think for your long-term health, you got to be making a better decision than that. And I really don't know who's to blame, but something needs to change and someone needs to be held accountable. We got to take a quick break. We're going to get in some baseball talk because Aaron Judge still sitting at 61. Haven't got Strick's thoughts yet. Want to get his interpretation of what's going on. Is he flirting with the record? Is he not flirting with the record? How do you decide? We're going to get Strick's thoughts after this. We're live from Barry's 9th and Q. Come hang out with us. We'll be here until 6 o'clock. 3 pairs of Husker tickets. Signed Mike Rozier jersey. All you got to do is come hang out, get some food, get some drinks. We're having a blast over here. Great weather as well. Come hang out with the guys. We'll take a quick break. You're listening on the block. 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me in just a moment is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. But before I bring Andy on, I need to tell you about something that really got my attention. Just the other day, I saw on television Andy announcing that in the last 50 years, they had sold and serviced close to 100,000 vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, actually, the number would be a lot higher if we add in how many repeat customers we have for service and that come back to buy cars from us over and over and over again.
Now, Andy, tell everybody about your special offer.
Well, as most people know, always trade for vehicles, but now we're offering for people to come in and sell us their cars. We're ready to buy, bring it on in, whether it's a year old or a few years old, and we'll pay them cash that same day. It'll be hassle-free, and we'll do it the Honda of Lincoln way.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of buying cars, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
It's tailgate season. Why would you bounce around from place to place for all your beverage needs when you could have it all in one place? Wine, Beer, and Spirits has everything for your parties with their 3 locations in Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. It's the largest liquor store in the state, and here's the best part. You can get a drink from their bar and walk around with it as you shop for all your tailgate necessities. Locally owned and operated, it's Wine, Beer, and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit ASBMidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is On the Block with Strick and Nate. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
And Hokie Homer turned Husker, Nathan Brennan.
Everyone knows that I'm the smartest person here.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
Again, welcome to the second hour of On the Block. I'm Strick, live from Houston, Texas, and that is my partner and his right-hand man and mine, Nick Sainert, live from Barry's at 9th and Q, where they're sipping on some brew and talking to you. It is a wonderful day today, both here and there. It sounds like it is a nice, breezy, comfortable, sunny, and wonderful day there in Nebraska as they pre-game for the Indiana-Nebraska game. Pre-game, right? And so right now, there's a lot of things going on in the news. Just finished a Tua Tagovailoa segment, obviously dealing with the concussion protocols of the NFL. It is tough. There's been doctors speculating and discussing whether or not this is a heinous crime towards Tua as far as if anything was to happen going forward. Some even speculating and saying allegedly that there could even possibly and should possibly be murder charges and stuff of that nature. I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not a doctor, nor do I understand it, nor are we on the block or at 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We're only sharing what people are saying and some of the possibilities of things that are out there. We wish him well, him and his family. We understand the situation and the scenario that's going on with Tua Tagovailoa, but we do hope that he recovers and has a full recovery going forward. Now, let's turn to baseball. There's been some great stuff happening in baseball that most of the people are not really talking about right now.
Yeah.
Only 2 other people have been able to do what this man has done, and it is Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. And they're not really, that's why I want to talk to you, both Nick and Nate, about. Is this something that not only baseball should be more excited about or more happy about? You remember back in the day when the McGuires and the Cansecos and, just these runs, and Sammy Sosa and all of them were making these wonderful runs. It was like anticipation and news, like always was there, just kind of following along this whole track. But Aaron Judge is just slowly trekking along and having just a phenomenal season of his own. And is it something that we should care about? I'd love to hear your thoughts from both of you.
Yeah, Strick, I think not only is this something that we should care about, I think it's something that should be talked about more. And especially if you're baseball, you need to be marketing it more, because I'm going to run this through for you. It's 73 home runs. That's currently the record all-time in the year 2001. Mark McGwire comes in at 70 in 1998. Sammy Sosa 66 in 1998. In 1999, the year after they had that home run race, Mark McGwire would hit 65. The same year that Barry Bonds hit the 73, Sammy Sosa would hit 64 in 2001. Sammy Sosa then again in 63 in 1999. Here's where it gets interesting, because this is when we get into Aaron Judge in 2022, like you just said, Strick. Babe Ruth at that 60 mark in 1927, and Aaron Judge obviously tied with Roger Maris at 61 in 1961 too as well. So if you take out the McGwire, Sosa, and Bonds, that would mean that Aaron Judge would currently be tied for the lead for most home runs in a single season. And I think what's so fascinating about it is that depending on who you talk to, whether you talk to a baseball purist, whether you talk to maybe part of the younger generation, if you talk to the baseball writers, they certainly would tell you that those home runs at the top don't count because they've decided to leave those three guys out of the Hall of Fame. So it really comes down to how you interpret this. And to be honest with you, I don't really know if I have a side, because I think what's so incredible about what Aaron Judge is doing is that even if you add the steroids in the conversation or not, it's one of those things you can interpret this as a record. Like you can, and it depends. Like you might have to switch it around a little bit, and it might be okay. Like there's an asterisk next to Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. That's what a lot of people will end up saying. But at the end of the day, this is a feat that people don't see every day. And I was talking to Bach yesterday, and he said, I hate the cut-ins. I'm watching college football. I don't want to see Aaron Judge at bat. Absolutely, I do. Cut in any game that you possibly have to. I want to see it. This is history. Do I think that he's breaking a record? No. Do I think that it's historical? Yes. I think there's a little bit of a gray area. But I love the cut-ins. I want to see what's happening.
So Talk to me, Nick.
I'm going to play a little devil's advocate, okay?
I love it. I love it.
But just for fun, I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate here because it's a remarkable feat, okay? It's a remarkable accomplishment. Obviously tied with Roger Maris currently with 61. He's not going to get the actual record like we talked about, right? But I would not be surprised if he beats tops Roger Maris' single season of 62 or with his next home run, I suppose. So then here's the thing. The sidebar, the Penn State Northwestern game will feature cut-ins, I read today, of Aaron Judge's at-bats.
Good.
So they will cut in. That will be the specific game that that they will cut in. Now, here's the thing. History of baseball, here's the thing. So a couple years ago, there were too many home runs in the entirety of Major League Baseball. And this is something to keep in mind while we're talking about this. And home runs come into play. A couple years ago in Major League Baseball, there were tons and tons of home runs. They didn't like that because it took away from the integrity of the game. So then what they decided to do was deaden the baseballs. And in last season, they actually used two different types of baseballs, which then also questioned the integrity of the game. Well, now this year they're using one universal style of baseball that also they realized, right? We always have that talk of how marketable is baseball right now. If there's no home runs, if there's no, juiced bats, guys taking steroids, how marketable, how enjoyable is it for fans to watch? Now there's a lot of home runs this season. You'll see that the home run rates this year are up, which includes Aaron Judge's 61 home runs. So I feel like it's important with baseball being such a historical sport. I feel like it's important to talk about the kind of baseballs they're using, what kind of, think about like all those little things that are taken into account when deciding how many home runs are hit. But at the end of the day, it's a remarkable feat.
So
I don't know where
are you basically, but it's interesting. Are you saying that right now, just there's nuance to it, and so it's not necessarily basically the old few years past, all of those things account for what we're seeing right now. So you have to discuss those changes.
I don't think you have to, but I think it is important when you kind of look at the grand scheme of things, right? Home run rates all together throughout all of baseball right now are increased over last year. And you see a season like this, and I wanted to be very careful how I kind of discussed this because I don't want to take anything away from Aaron Judge. 61 home runs is unbelievable. The way that guys are throwing, like, think about it, guys. You can bring the whole pitching discussion into this, and guys throwing triple digits is just a norm now for starting pitchers and for relievers. Like, you think about the evolution of baseball. It was Aroldis Chapman throwing three triple digits as a closer. They didn't want to keep him as a starter because they didn't want to blow out his arm, rightfully so, throwing triple digits. So then now you're seeing the evolution of that going from closing pitchers to, short relievers to then long relievers. Now starters are able to throw 5 consecutive innings. And here's the thing. When you talk about Aaron Judge's home run and home run rates in the entirety of Major League Baseball, I think there is value and reason, there's purpose to bringing up that the balls might be a little more juiced this year, which is why we're seeing an increase in home runs across the entire sport. But I did not want to take anything away from Aaron Judge's 61 home runs.
Strick, I want to say something real quick because this is one. Texter says, "Stop the hating. Steroids do not make the eye coordination any better." That argument, I'll be entirely honest, I absolutely hate that argument. I hate it, hate it, hate it. Are these guys great hitters? Absolutely. Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, those guys have better eye coordination than pretty much everyone that's ever played the sport. For you to be even able to hit a home run at all in Major League Baseball, is it like if you can hit one home run in Major League Baseball, I don't care what year you played, what era you played in, it's an incredible feat. It's amazing. But my argument is these guys have great hand-eye coordination. What was Barry Bonds? What was Sammy Sosa? What was Mark McGwire doing before you can literally see in time? You can look at the timeline and tell when they started taking steroids. I'm not saying these guys don't hit 40, 50, 60 home runs. I'm not saying that. You cannot tell me that if Barry Bonds wasn't taking steroids, he would have still hit 73 home runs. I don't buy it. I do not buy it for a second.
That's exactly my point is now you have, all the advanced analytics in the pitching game right now this season to where you see the triple digits and you see the RPMs on guys' pitches and you see how much movement sinkers have and the ability to take so much off of pitches and the pitch differentials and speeds where you can throw a 98 mile an hour fastball consistently, drop off a sinker for 91 miles an hour, and then you can also throw an off-speed pitch for 85. Like that makes it extremely difficult as a hitter. And that's where no matter what baseballs the MLB is using, no matter what baseballs Major League Baseball is using that season, it's still remarkably impressive for someone to hit 20 home runs, nonetheless 61, and tying a record that was set by Roger Maris at 61. And now you have, I think 6 or 7 games left, and you have a chance to make one or hit one more bomb, and your name's going to be in the record books in one of the most historical franchises in baseball.
I think there's some things to really look at, right? When we're just looking at all of these things that are happening in sports today. You can go from basketball to football. You're looking at some of these kids that are like anomalies, right? They're like LeBron James times 10 these days. Is it in the food? Is it in the water? Did we find Shangri-La? What's really going on? And those are some of the things that I think about, right? I understand that because when you're looking at it, you have guys like you're saying, it has changed dramatically where you used to have a few, that throw the way that we're throwing. Is it the technology? Is it the workout regiments? What is it that has I don't know. Saturday Heyman text line 402-464-5685. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because I'm seeing 14-year-old 6'9" kids that are built like freaking LeBron or like how does what's my guy? How does Zion Williams happen? Right?
Yeah,
they're freaking anomalies. I'm just flabbergasted by it because I'm really just want to know kind of what you guys are thinking about something like that. Like, how is this happening right now?
Well, let's just be like it's kind of crazy to think about. You can get into a whole rabbit hole, Strick, and Nate, I know you know this as well, of fundamentals and how the youth coaches are teaching players at that age. And there's something that a lot of, if you're a select baseball guy out there or a gal, you understand that launch angle has been a huge talking point. A couple years ago, right, when I just mentioned when there were all those home runs, that's when this idea of launch angle was established, where it was dropping your back shoulder and hitting for power, and that's what everybody loves to do. However, that can be helpful with the guys like Jackson Holliday, who was 18 years old, who just got taken number 1 overall in the Major League Baseball draft. He's the son of former Cardinal outfielder Matt Holliday. That can be the story with those guys that, like you said, Strick, are anomalies, are freak athletes, and are just given the talent when they're born and just kind of had that work ethic. However, for a lot of people, depending on what you teach and what you coach when you're younger, it can kill a youth baseball career. It can kill it because one thing that's important to remember is it doesn't matter how hard you throw at 12 years old. Nobody in their right mind, and I stand firm on this, should have a radar gun on a 12-year-old pitcher, because that 12-year-old pitcher at that time in their baseball or softball career does not need to be worrying about how many RPMs are on their pitch or how fast they're throwing the ball consistently. They need to be worried about the fundamentals, and then all the other stuff down the road will come with the 98% of the athletes, in my opinion. And so it's just kind of crazy to think about when you can actually kill a young child or a child's baseball career or softball career for that matter if you worry about launch angle, hitting home runs, you worry about practicing 5 days a week and, hey, hit to this one spot on the net, throw a curveball, destroy your I'm passionate about this stuff because I've seen it firsthand day after day.
Well, here's an interesting argument to it, Strick, and I kind of want you to speak on this too, because you remember the McGuire, Bonds, Sosa, all that. We have a couple texters that are saying pitchers were juicing back then too. And then one texter says everyone was juicing back then. It didn't matter who you were. While that is true, I think there's a little bit different. Like, yes, if you're a pitcher, maybe that makes your velocity goes up. Maybe that makes your spin rate a little bit better. I understand how, from the pitcher's perspective, you're also juicing. But it's shown that if you're bigger and stronger and you're hitting a baseball, you just got to hit it at the right spot. Like I know
you still got to hit the ball.
There's an advantage to taking to a pitcher throwing faster, to having a higher spin rate. There's the advantage for a steroid pitcher too. But when it comes to baseball, that's the same point that everyone's making, is that it's difficult to hit a baseball. But if you're 25 pounds more muscle and you hit the baseball, it's going to go further.
I disagree.
Nick, hold on right there. Okay. Nick, hold that point. We're going to go to a break, and we'll come back and we'll allow you to answer when we come off the break. We got to take a break right now. We're on the block, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Come back. We're going to join this conversation because it's getting heated. We'll be right back after this.
I can't believe I just scratched that card. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers. There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsrats.com. Bats Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.58 per hour. And other select jobs is starting at $24.28 per hour, with wages growing up to $30.30 per hour. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. Summer is here, and that means you're having garage parties with neighbors, hitting the golf course and the pool. The drink of this summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs, 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD at 84th and Andermatt and TrekCBD.com. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Warm and breezy for your Friday with an afternoon high right about 80. South-southeast winds gusting over 20 and a few passing clouds here and there. A low tonight down to around 55. We'll start off the weekend with a high of around 83. And those south-southeast winds again gusting over 20. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back on the block with 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. You are on the block right now. I'm not on the block. I'm in H-Town, but my guys, Nick Sainert and my partner, Nate Doggy Dog, is live from Barry's at 9th and Q, where you can go down there. We're giving away 3 Indiana, Nebraska ticket giveaways where you can not only get those tickets if you win the raffle, but you've got to play to win the game. If you don't get down to Barry's by 6 o'clock, you won't be able to get into the raffle. But they're also giving away a special jersey. Tell us about that jersey, Nate.
Yeah, Mike Rozier jersey. Again, like Strick said, all you got to do is you just got to come by. And even if you're not here at 6 o'clock when we actually raffle it off, we'll have it at Tipsy Tina's. So you can come pick it up at Tipsy Tina's tomorrow. I mean, there's plenty of ways to get your hands on a signed Mike Rozier jersey.
Oh, yeah. Heisman. I can't do it very well. These knees are a little bit old right now. But when we left on the last segment, we were talking about Nate broke down started a debating point, which we're talking about. One of the texters had alluded to that everybody, or dang near not everybody, but a lot of people, to include pitchers outside of baseball, outside of not only the baseball batters, but also the pitchers were also juicing. And with that being in mind, then Nick has a little feedback on that. The thought was, if both players are juicing, why is it that the batters only get the issue as far as there's nothing really said about the pitchers?
Well,
but
Roger
Nick,
Clemens isn't in the Hall of Fame too.
Yeah, I think it's always interesting because when we talk about pitchers and how like nowadays the excitement comes with triple digits, right? The excitement comes with the like I've brought up a couple of times, RPMs and triple digits, and if you can throw hard, you can make it, and things like that. And now you're not seeing that because, as Nate alluded to earlier, guys are adjusting, right? These are professional baseball players with whatever level they're at, and they are making adjustments. They're developing their swing to time up triple digits. Now, I'm one of those guys that I love the idea of a good old 2-1 baseball game, a good old 1-0 win, shutout victory, no errors, clean game, accurate pitching, nice and easy going, and just a disciplined baseball game. Like, you think back to the days of like Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux, and you have that when we're talking pitcher specifically, Kyle Hendricks, even at this level or in this day and age.
Randy Johnson.
Well, Randy Johnson threw hard. I'm talking, these are guys that.
Oh, they had to paint it. You're talking about painters.
They just did their job. They just located. They allowed their defense to work. And that's one of those things where, in my opinion, that's something that will never, through steroids, through everything, that is something that will always withstand the test of time.
Would you put Kershaw in that group? Would you put Kershaw in that group?
Later Kershaw.
Kershaw,
I would be near there. Prime Kershaw, he was throwing harder. But like, here's the thing: when we go back to the fundamental swing, and I brought up launch angle, the degree that you hit the ball at, the exit velocity, all that comes with a good foundation. All of that comes with a good foundation. Buster Posey is a guy who I believe was 6'2", 220 pounds, I want to say. And he played in the league for quite a while as a catcher, was not a power hitter, but was right around that, and somebody can always fact check me on this, was right around that 20 home run mark, and a couple years even broke the 20 home runs. Why? Because he wasn't a guy that tried to hit for power. He worried about the good fundamental swing, and everything else came. Everything else fell in line. And part of that is like Joey Gallo's a really good example, right? He had one really, really good year with the Rangers, and his trade value skyrocketed. The Rangers didn't want to pay him, so they traded him to New York at the deadline. And because he was that perfect kind of piece that can put New York over the top, had a really, really tough time in New York, because in New York, as you guys kind of know, just watching sports, when you're not playing well, things go bad, and the fans hop on the train to get you out of town. They're trying to warm it up. And so it's one of those things where it's not sustainable. Like, if there's no foundation, I argue that it's not you can't have a sustainable career if you can't do the little things correctly.
I like that. I mean, that's really the kind of baseball player that I was. I wasn't if I hit a home run, it was going out on a line drive. I was just a swing mechanic guy, level. If I caught it, I caught it. But if not, it was going in the gaps, and I was getting doubles and triples, which obviously helped teams win games. That was kind of, so I understand what you're saying about that point, Nick. But it's not sexy.
It's not, and that's when we
sexy.
talk about the marketability of baseball. How do you draw fans in? That's why baseball decided to juice the baseball. Not juice. I don't want to make them sound like they're easy to hit out. That's why they decided to change the baseballs. That's why they continue to try to change the baseballs, try to change little intricacies within the game. A pitch clock. Well, like, there's going to be a pitch clock next year, and they're hoping that speeds or quickens up the game, and it makes the game go by a little quicker, so fans don't have to sit in front of their TV for 3.5 hours and watch a 9-inning baseball game. They change all these things every single year, and changing the baseballs every year is just kind of their approach, because they hope they hit more home runs, and Aaron Judge did that this year with 61.
You heard it on the block before, Nate. I'm gonna let you. I just want to know, just make sure you heard this point. You heard it on the block right now. Nate just created Baseball Gate right here. He said they juicing the ball. It happened right here on the block, and you can only see it here on the block. No, I'm just making jokes. Just little jokes from out here in Houston. But go ahead.
Just from out here.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nick's starting rumors.
That's
Strick, I want to ask you.
We have a problem.
We do have.
Exactly.
Strick, I want to ask you this, because this is what it boils down to, is that we saw when Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, you can even throw Barry Bonds in that group, when those guys, Ken Griffey Jr., for what it's worth, that late 90s, early 2000s, that's when baseball peaked. Like that is when the world had their eyes on baseball. This transcended sports. It was, you could turn on any news station that you wanted to. The headline, Mark McGwire hits another one. Sammy Sosa hits another one. Who's going to break the record? Whatever it may be. And I feel like now we're reaching this point with Aaron Judge that it's not even talked about. We said it the other day, Strick, when Aaron Judge hit number 60, half of our listeners on the text line said they didn't even know till we told them. And I think that's part of the problem in itself. And I want you to kind of talk about that, is that, like, what changes that to get people to focus more, to show more interest, things like that.
Sir, this is Barry's rooftop.
Nick, I'm going to be like Nick right now, the conspiracy guy, right?
Ooh,
I'm going to put my tinfoil on, and I'm going to be like Nick right now. Okay? So here's the thing. And look, I cannot confirm nor deny this, but something in me makes me feel that this a moment, right? Here's why I say this, and some of you may have heard me say this on the block before. I'm going to reiterate it. I truly think what you just said is something important to look at regarding the news, the coverage, not really the marketing. All of those things are something to look at. Whereas before, they used to really market the players. And right now, you're having some issues in baseball where they're having a marketing problem. But I think it has something to do with the coming of a collective bargaining agreement for baseball. I'm just going to throw it out there. Why don't you want to market it? I think it could have something to do with you're trying to actually shrink your numbers. How do you shrink your numbers? Lack of coverage, lack of gate money, lack of all of those monies in the collective bargaining agreement you share, right? So right now, it's such an inflated market for them. They're not really getting all of those things with the ratings, with the gates. All of those numbers are starting to shrink, and it really started around COVID time. I think that's when it really started to hit a bottom out. And are they trying? I'm just throwing a question out there. Are they trying to sabotage themselves in order to? Because now you also got something else that's about to happen that they didn't have to deal with before. Minor leagues now are going to have representation.
They're part of it, right?
They're going to be a part. So that there was ways that you could save money in baseball before, but now I don't think that's the case. I'm only speculating again, just throwing it out there.
I would say wrongfully save money. Do you guys have? I think there's the minor league. They agreed with Major League Baseball that they're going to start getting a little bit better of a wage, and they're also going to get housing whenever they go on road trips or whenever they live somewhere. They're going to get some kind of added bonus that they have not had. I can't remember all the details of it, but so minor leagues are taking steps a little bit and getting just more of a fair living. Because here's the thing: if you're in single or double A and this is your job, you're not getting paid very well in Major League Baseball. So it's really not until, like, here's the thing, Strick, as a professional athlete, you would understand this. You can only live off of the signing bonus for so long. And if you don't get that second contract, if you don't play well enough in those first 4 years, you're going to be quickly shuttered out, unfortunately. So it's weird. I don't know. I would rather gain your thoughts on that whole situation, on sustainability for athletes and marketability in professional sport.
Yeah, it is, and you're speaking absolutely truth in that, because when we got to Double A, I think I shared it with Nate before. When we got to Single A, long season Single A up there in New York, they put us in a hotel for 3 days and said, "Hey, have at it. Hope you find a place, or you're gonna have to pay for your hotel." Yeah. So I do like the fact that is going to change in those in that way. You're absolutely right. Those long bus rides, those trips, food, transportation, all of those things on a minimal budget was very hard. It was very tough, but you did it because you were hoping to get the next one. But let's be real. We know the numbers. The numbers all say it. the percentages are very minute to those that make it through, and so therefore, it's a cycle of this trouble.
Bubba Starling's the perfect example, right? Husker fans will know Bubba Starling. The guy was in the minors for so long, and then he finally got up to the Kansas City Royals after so many years just hanging out in the minors. Because you just kind of get – there's so many variables in Major League Baseball specifically, because you in the majors, in the actual major level, you have multiple guys at that position that are possibilities, and you have multiple guys also below you. And here's the thing, the window of opportunity in Major League Baseball to get to the pros, or actually like the major league level, I should say, is very small. It's a very small window, because guess what? With the Major League Baseball draft, you take so many guys and you sign so many guys, and you're always open to opportunities, that here's the thing, they will have no problem moving on to the next guy. And a lot of times you'll see jumps from AA to MLB rather than AAA to Major League Baseball as well.
Yep.
A lot of the top prospects
are in
won't even
AA.
more than a couple weeks in AAA. They'll spend a chunk of their time in AA, and then they'll make that jump.
Strick, I got to ask you this before we head to break. Does Aaron Judge beat Roger Maris? Does he get 62?
I haven't had a chance to look, but how many games are left?
I believe there's 6 or 7.
He gets there.
Think he gets
it? I think so.
Unless there's a to not pitch to him, and you don't get that pitch.
They play the Rangers. So, here's the deal. I mean,
the other day, Strick, they walked him 4 times in a game.
Yeah, the Blue Jays were booing their own fans.
4 times in a game.
The Blue Jays fans were booing their own team.
Why would you do that? Because it's sometimes the purists want to keep the game pure.
Yeah.
Strick, you know what that is? Boo!
Boo! We just got to take a break right now. Unfortunately, we love you guys on the block. We thank you always for tapping in and tuning in. We've got to take a break. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Head down to Barry's and join the guys. Have a drink with them. We're going to come back, have one closeout segment, and we're going to cross over with DP and the old school guys. We'll be right back after this.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Time to replace your heating and air? Get utility rebates and big discounts from Bryant. Call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. For any of your electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com. The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln. and has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our communities safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket. I hope you guys are on the live stream because Strick's having himself a little Friday. He's enjoying himself. He's got a cigar. He's ready to go. He's ready for game day. That's what we'll go ahead and say with that one. We're live for Barry's 9th and Q. Come hang out with us. We'll be here until 6 o'clock enjoying the beautiful weather, I might say. A little bit of a breeze, got some nice sunshine, drinks, food, all that good stuff at Barry's. Also stop on by because we're giving away 3 pairs of Husker tickets, a signed Mike Rozier jersey. All you got to do is put your name in the bin, and then you'll be good to go. We'll give out that winner here starting at 9 o'clock, at 6 o'clock tonight. And if you're not here, we'll give it to you tomorrow at Tipsy Tina's because we have our pregame show, as always, from Tipsy Tina's. We have a great time over there. We got drinks flowing, food, all that good stuff. We're helping you out. We're giving you a lot of opportunities to come hang out with the people, enjoy the atmosphere before we kick it off against Indiana. Strick joining us. DP now hopping in, by the way. Gentlemen, how we doing? What's going on?
I'm doing great, but I want to talk to DP personally because DP.
I'm going to step aside for
school.
Here we go.
DP. No, because here's what I want to throw out. Because I had keys to success today. And I really want to toss this to you because as we cross over to old school, you and Jay, you guys have a great format over there. Great in your depth on Nebraska football and all things sports at Nebraska, but definitely there. So I would really like to know your keys. And then I would like to follow it up and ask you, what do you think that this Indiana game means? Because Nate and I both said, out of all the craziness of this season right now thus far, I threw out that they've already gained over 930 yards rushing in 4 games with bad teams. But they're still in the freaking mist.
Yes.
Even if they lose this game to Indiana, which would just blow, it just throws out all kinds of logic and craziness that it has. So I really want to throw this to you. 1, what are your keys, your 3 keys to success for this game? And what do you think this game means to the Nebraska team?
Okay, I'm going to blow your mind here. You ready for this gospel?
Break it down. I want it.
This is
Let's do it.
absolute.
Let's
this
do
is,
it.
This is church on a Friday.
Yes.
Right? Key to the game. Key number 1. Simplicity in this. Hey, when the clock rings 0-0-0, Nebraska should have more points than Indiana. How about that? How about that being the focus and the key to the game? How about that piece of brilliance? Look, we listen to people talk about time of possession, tempo for Indiana's offense. We talked about tackling in space. They talked about the different personnel groups that are going to be on the field tomorrow at 6:30. They talked about all those things. But football always has been, always will be based on the 3 following things: running, tackling, blocking. Simplicity. Look, if you're a good team, this offensive line figures out a way, even with a new starter at left guard. Ethan Piper will step in. You've got the 5 gentlemen from last year, so we kind of know what it looks like. We still miss and wish that Nuri was back at left guard. Things out of our control and the things that we can handle. But guess what? The 5 fat guys better do work tomorrow. The 5 fat necks have to be excellent tomorrow. It doesn't matter what the skill position and the pretty boys do. The fat guys have to win the game. Simplicity. Find me more fat guys. The fat guys on the defensive side of the ball. Look, we spent a whole lot of time praising Ty Robinson. We were looking at Hussmacher. We were looking at all these guys, and we forgot that Damian Daniels no longer exists here. Like, we forgot that Ben Stilley no longer exists here. Guys that knew how to be Big Ten fat guys on the defensive side of the football, right? So those 2 things. And then finally, the tempo aspect that doesn't matter. What I want are productive, effective offensive drives by the Huskers. I don't care how many snaps Indiana has. If Nebraska, Casey Thompson, and Mark Whipple do their thing, Indiana is not a big strike offense. They are a 50 pass per game offense. There's a difference between being able to hit the 60-yard strike and them being able to ball control with the short dink and duck pass, waiting for Nebraska to miss a tackle and to get into space. That's how the game will be played. It'll be determined by those things. As always, what we hope is over the course of 10 days of competing, Nebraska versus Nebraska, that they're better prepared, better informed, and better finishers than they have been to date. How's that? Give it to you, Strick.
I love it. And I love the way you delivered it because it just makes sense. Simplicity right now, as we would always say in the wonderful words, not the band Kiss, but E. Stricky's Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Boils down right to that. Just keep it simple.
I think that I completely agree, Strick. And DP, I want you to just kind of express this too, because I know that you've always said, like, Nebraska is still in it. And when we talk about the thick of the Big Ten, and me and Strick were talking about this, the craziest part about everything, like, say what you want about Nebraska football. Everyone has their own opinions. You can listen to the national media, you can listen to the local media. At the end of the day, you're 0-1 in the Big Ten. You are still there.
You're missing the layup.
You're still there.
No, but you're missing the layup. Your interim head coach told you exactly how to identify this thing. And keeping it simple, stupid, the first thing is the first thing. I don't care about the Big Ten West. I don't care about the Big Ten Conference. Indiana's in town. Beat Indiana.
Yeah.
That's it. Look, stop with the distraction and the okey doke, and we need to look forward, and let's put more pressure on them, and let's spend time talking about coaches that are never going to step foot in Lincoln, Nebraska, wearing the end. Stop spending time talking about guys who aren't going to play. Stop talking about the sellout streak. Stop talking about all the minutia. The important thing is this: if they've advanced themselves since day one of interim head coach Mickey Joseph's run here, that they will be good enough to simply beat Indiana. You're a 4.5-point favorite at home for homecoming. Look, focus. This is simplicity. You don't have to make it complicated. Beat Indiana. Is this? I don't care whose name this is. It could be Georgia. It could be Alabama. It could be whoever. It happens to be Indiana. And as far as I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, But has Indiana ever been a factor in football that Nebraska should ever, one of the great programs in football history, should they ever feel like they can't be dominant and controlling of the Indiana Hoosiers at a football, especially homecoming, especially at Memorial Stadium on a Saturday night? It's going to be on fire all day to juice up, all day to eat well, all day to pat backs, all day to high five, fist bump, and do all of that. But at 6:30 tomorrow night, the Indiana Hoosiers should get their tail kicked, and they should leave Saturday night or midnight Sunday feeling like, you know what? We apologize, Nebraska. We forgot you're a football blue blood. We forgot that building down there is one of the meccas of sports.
You're right.
So guess what? The Hoosiers don't deserve to go in that building feeling like they're somebody. Look, I understand all the minutia, that detail, that peripheral stuff. But the simplicity is Mickey Joseph has an opportunity to stake his claim by winning a football game, which is literally in the job description. Win football games in Nebraska. That's literally at the top of the list. Hey, you want to be head coach at Nebraska? What should be the most important thing? Win the next football game you coach. And that's what tomorrow night is about. We'll have some fun with it. But let me tell you, I'm not looking at anything. You throw the ball 50 times in the Big Ten, you are asking for a boatload of problems. I hope this defensive secondary shows up tomorrow. I hope these edge rushers show up tomorrow. But quite frankly, I'm going to watch the game by looking at Nebraska's fat boys. And if they are having a party, we're having a party.
Strick, the text line is fired up.
Get him.
I know I'm fired up too. That's the biggest thing too. Win. It's as simple as that. DP's got the text line fired up. He's got me fired up. We're having a great time at Barry's. I'm going to take a wild guess and say you're not done yet. You're not done? You got
negative.
You got 2 more hours of this.
Negative, sir.
Hey, listen, stick around because I promise you.
Hey, Strick,
we're not done.
You know the word, Strick. Fired up and ready to go.
Let's get it.
Fired up and ready to go. That'll do it for us. All the block for myself, Nate Brennan, for Eric Strickland. We are live from Barry's. Come hang out with us. Husker tickets, signed Mike Rozier jersey, all happening right here. We'll see you on the other side. Old school next, right here, 93.7 The Ticket.